Okay, so welcome everybody. I am so pleased to have you here today at the launch of meeting our authors of The Voices of Influence, the untold stories of remarkable speakers. And today I'm so excited to have a majority of our speakers here, and they're going to share their why behind their chapter, what drew them to the project, what also, why they wrote what they wrote in their chapter. Because people that are listening to this and watching this want to engage with the speakers, the authors, and really understand a lot more of their heart. And so I'm today really excited to bring together the most remarkable voices that I know on the planet. And, we had a #1 bestseller for no reason, #1 international bestseller. So this is really cool. And so I'm really proud of everybody who's made the remarkable journey to be remarkably in this book. Because remarkably, I'm actually amazingly, I'm smiling. So I'm really excited to have you guys here who's tuning in from the universe, like on Rachel's background. So, so I'm really excited. So what I wanted to share with you guys today is a reason at the beginning, like introduction to why I wanted to do this book, and then what was the journey of the book, and then some of the speakers and the touching moments I've had with some of the speakers, which has been really heartfelt. So last year I had, I guess in a way, it was a build-up, and it was a little bit of a build-up to this kind of journey, and I had a spiritual awakening. Now, put your hand up if some of you in the room, put your hand up in the room if you had a spiritual awakening. Okay, it's only me. No. All right. So anyway, thank you very much. So what happened is that it threw me off kilter, right? And it kind of just made me start thinking about what is the meaning of what I've been doing? What is the meaning of where I'm going? And then what is the meaning of who I am? And it really felt like a little bit of a really hard struggle. And and because you're going into yourself and you're going in reflection mode, right? And not a lot of us want to reflect on ourselves, and I didn't. And so I was forced to, and that was a little bit like confronting. So I really went into the heart space, and where I've always wanted to be, and I always felt I was, but quite frankly, I don't think I was enough of it. And so, and that's fine, because I was a bit, I guess they call it the word unconscious, but now I'm quite conscious. And so, this is all the lingo, right? I'm learning. And 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 I just I really kind of learned along last year with me discovering being the accidental artist, and and this kind of story that I've kind of going on is that I am here to serve more people. Now, when I was discovered to be the accidental artist, and I was put on Channel 10 last year in May, I was sitting on national television, and I was sitting on national television, I'll never forget. And there was this message that came to me on TV when all the journalists, on like 3 of them, were interviewing me about being the accidental artist. And I had this message come through, and you could see on my face, I think, in the interview in front of them going, yeah. And I got this message come through, and it said, help more people, Zahrina. I went, I'm on national television. Why are you coming to me now? Like telling me this message. I know it's a little bit out there, but I was on national television. So I'm like, oh, I'm trying to answer the questions to the journalists, but I got this crazy message. And that message drew me to absolutely bring upon this book. So in the short and the curly of it, the whole story is that this is the beginning of a new chapter, as well as me, as well as helping other women and men really develop your voice of influence. And it started with the speakers, which I'm really excited about, with your remarkable stories. Now, the women that are in this book are out of this universe, quite frankly. They are beautiful women, like really heart-centered. And it was like, hang on, this new vibe that I like about moi is loving the people that I'm attracting on the other side. I'm like, love these women, because They are so beautiful, heartfelt. They're really organic and generous and what do you call this word? Down to earth. So I'm so pleased that I have the pick of the bunch in the Voices of Influence. I'm really happy. So it's my privilege to share with you guys today. I want to introduce you to the speakers. Now, I just want to share with you also that we're going to have 15 minutes of Q&A at the end. I want your questions lined up, everybody, for the speakers as they speak about their journey as well and about their why of being in the book. And I really want you to don't hold anything back, right? Because this is all about being authentic, really, quite frankly, because they've got remarkable stories, but I'm totally inspired by. And just the other thing also, this is very interesting as well. And the theme of the book as well is the voice of influence. But inside the book is all about the remarkable reinvention that that they've gone through, that I've going through and gone through, but also the message that I'm sharing with people in the new me. And it is the art of radical reinvention. And I'm so pleased to share this with you because all for 15 years, I thought I was just transforming people and I wasn't connecting to that word. I don't know why. Now I know. And it's because I help people reinvent themselves from the inside out. I know I do, and all the things that I do with branding. So I want to share with you that the theme in the book is actually based around the art of radical reinvention. And that's why I brought these ladies in. And that's why their change in their story, their remarkable story is beautiful. It's all about their remarkable reinvention as well. So let's everybody, let's clap, put our hands together to introduce our speakers as a group. And then we're going to go individually for each speaker as well. And if anybody has their camera off, it'd be really great to have it on because it's 8:30 Friday morning. Boom, boom. You can have it all off tomorrow, Saturday. Okay, so let's introduce our first speaker, which is me. I've been there, done that. So we're going to introduce the beautiful Sharlene. Welcome to the house, Sharlene. Can you?
Thank you.
Oh, great speaker. Everybody have your little buttons on the highest volume as well. That'll be fantastic. And then we're going to go through everybody and look, welcome everybody, Sharlene, and welcome. Now, Sharlene, I have known Sharlene and her husband, Stephen, for a long time, and they've gone through a branding shoot with me. They've gone through a branding process, but we've become very, very close friends, and it's been really, really a heartfelt journey. And it's been like over 8 years. Yeah, and they're still using those photos. Oh my God. Oh my God, but they haven't aged, right? No. So what I want to say is that I want to introduce Sharlene, everybody. Welcome, Sharlene.
Thank you.
Sharlene, tell us a bit about your journey with this book and also why you wrote what you wrote, in your chapter, because, we want to connect with you. The audience wants to connect with you. So go for it.
Thank you, Zahrina. It's been a really interesting journey because I had no idea that I would ever actually write a book this soon. I've been in the throes of doing a book together with my husband on like our journey of IVF and the struggles that we've had. But I've just come to a point where like I'm just open to anything that comes my way now. Like I've just had to say yes to things that come up, and regardless of what's going on, because currently I'm in middle or at the end of doing my bachelor's in counseling, so I've been struggling with that at the same time. We're going through that and just just really balancing all the things that are happening in my life, which is really crazy, but it's good crazy. So one of the things I've noticed, like you've asked me before, Zahrina, where the moment of courage was, and it's at the end of our IVF cycle where we've actually found that the result that we got was another failed cycle after 18 failed cycles of IVF. So that in itself took a big toll, not just on my body, my emotions. Thankfully, I've got a very supportive husband, so he's always been there for me all the way through, and we've shared a lot of life together. But in our attempts, like we just basically hit rock bottom together. And, the devastating news of another failed round just really Clenched it, what got us into devastation, just really got us into the depths of despair, and the weight of the struggles really felt almost unbearable, really. But so what we did was, we retreated into our cave, as some people do, and we just, took solace together, just went away from all community and just tried to get back in together and regroup. So a moment of courage came to a point where we decided, okay, are we going to be childless by nature or childless by choice? Because by then I decided, okay, no more for me. Like after that final round, I'm like, this is taking a toll on my body. I no more. That in itself took a lot of courage, because I was like, just to the point that I couldn't handle this anymore. And there was a lot of social expectations around having children. So that moment of courage was like, do I just give into those social expectations and just keep trying and trying despite what's going on with my body? Or do I listen to my body and just respect that and honor that? And I chose to respect my body. And I chose to respect that fact that maybe we're meant for more.
And that's beautiful, because there's a lot of people, not just even, what's really interesting, not even at the beginning of, like, like you're trying to create human life, right? And then we've also got people on this call who are actually past that, right? And they're also start trying to get in tune with their new body. So it's really interesting, the cycle of life that you're actually also tapping into. You're trying to create life, and there are people here who are, in the middle of their life, and and they're working with their new body. So it's really interesting that, the learnings and the depths of despair that we all go through at different stages. Now I can totally understand what, your predicament there. And Sharlene, tell us about that point where you decided enough was enough, and then it changed your life. Tell us about that, because to me, that is the pivot point that I love. Share.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Zahrina. So I think that pivotal point was where we actually decided, okay, we're just going to use what we've gone through, because there's so many, like, we found that, like, even though we went into that little cone of solitude, we found that there was still a lot of hurt going through, and we just decided that we're going to move through it together. Like, there's nothing we can do about this now. So we might as well just appreciate what we do have. And we have a really strong relationship, thankfully. So we've known each other since like we were 14, and you'll find that in the book. So like we were like teenage sweethearts. Like we became best of friends, and from best of friends we just grew and grew until we decided to get married. And we just knew that we were meant to be together. So thankfully we had that behind us. And it's probably what kept us through. However, that moment that we decided that really changed for us was that we knew that there were so many people out there that needed to hear that story. Because when we decided we birthed a movement called Rewrite Your Life Story.
Yeah.
So that we could have other people share their moments of struggles and that turning point for themselves, where they changed that story into a story of victory. And we gained ourselves so much strength from that, so much encouragement and so much healing out of community, that we wanted to create the community as well. And that's where we changed from, okay, we're going to stay with ourselves and just stay away from the community. And then we changed over and we just decided to give out and allow people to form that.
Yes. So look, thank you for that, Sharlene. I really appreciate that. But we're sharing that it's really interesting. So what are give us some key takeaways that three key takeaways people can, that can take away from, your learning.
Yeah, absolutely. One, you're never alone. Well, just when you think that you might be in a situation and nobody would understand, there's so many people that have been through so many things that they can offer so much healing and guidance in that sense of community. So basically, healing comes out of community. And also the fact that you can actually take that moment and turn it into something beautiful just by sharing that moment and encouraging someone else, because there'll be other people out there, maybe not exactly in the same position, but in the same sort of struggle. And
Yeah.
that makes them feel like they're not alone in this situation. And that's why I decided to be part of this book, so that we could have a voice out there.
Oh, I am so privileged, because nobody else has that story, and nobody else has each other's stories, and nobody else has that story in the book. So I'm obviously but it's just so wonderful to be able that you're going to be able to share and help people. You already are. All the speakers are in this book. We're a #1 bestseller already. So it's like we're already making it a shift and a ripple. There's a ripple effect happening already. So I'm really excited about it. Like, woohoo! Congratulations, Shelly. Thank you so much for being in the book. You're like, your voice in it is a massive contribution, like everybody else's. Very heartfelt. And next, let's give a clap to Sharlene. Thank you. Yeah. Yay. Congratulations. Now our next speaker, she's a little pocket rocket, a beautiful pocket rocket. And I'll never forget the day she did a speaker show reel with me, and she rang me up. She goes, Zahrina, I am small. I went, oh yeah. I know you, yeah, okay. How small? Like, what are you saying? I'm small, like tiny. I'm 5'1", right? I think last time I counted, because I'm shrinking. And and she says, I think I'm 4'8" or so. I'm like, huh? 4'8"? And hey, welcome to the stage, Jackie Breasley. Jackie, welcome, you beautiful little pocket rocket. I love you in the bottom of my heart. You know, you really have been such a pillar of strength, like a beautiful little angel of love. And thank you. So tell us, everybody, about what, your journey toward, why did you want to be in the book? And also, like what was the pivot point about you, for you?
So why I wanted to contribute to the book, a couple of reasons. A, you were coordinating it, and B, it's for me, it's about service in terms of raising awareness and being able to demonstrate that you need to call out bullying. And so it's about service through telling my story, that hopefully it raises awareness and it doesn't happen to anyone else. So that's really my why.
Yes, but so for context for everybody, Jackie, for everybody like to know that you're got a very unique chapter about disability, and it's like, to me, it's ability, and I love that. And so, could you share a little bit of insight into your chapter, a little bit there as well?
Yeah. So my chapter is basically charts my journey with Turner syndrome. And I won't, no spoilers, but it just highlights some of, the reasons why we need to raise awareness and to advocate for human rights for people with disability. And it also charts a slightly different story to Sharlene in terms of fertility and the ups and downs of that. But ultimately, it's about a line in the sand and just not taking control of my life and not letting bullies control it, essentially.
That's true. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Jackie, I totally understand. Have you had has there been any learnings from, like what the movement that you're trying to create and the change that you're trying to create for people? Like, has there been any insights into that? I know you're trying to, you're trying to share your messages as a keynote speaker, like all the rest of the people, all the rest of the women, the speakers in the book. You're trying to change government, isn't it? Like, you're trying to change a message with government. And tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually part of a project, not a project, a social enterprise, Be Heart, to actually elevate human rights for people with disability. And I'm so excited because we do have a meeting with the Minister, Bill Shorten. So we are getting some traction.
Very good.
But I guess my lessons are that we all have human rights that need to be respected. Bullying needs to be called out and stopped anywhere that it is taking place. And having a disability doesn't mean the end of the world necessarily. And people with disability can contribute, can add value, and that needs to be recognised.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Jackie Breasley. Thank you, darling. Everybody, thank you. Let's give a clap for Jackie, hon. Like she, beautiful, heartfelt story, like in the book, in the Voices of Influence, the remarkable stories of the untold stories of remarkable speakers. I really appreciate it, like really do, because I've seen your journey, and I've just I know that, like when you meet somebody and they're on a trajectory to change people, you're one of them, and I'm really I can't wait to support you there any way I can. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Our next speaker, everybody, join us, is Rachel Pleasant, all the way from the USA. Oh, we are a global book. We are a global audience. We've got a global women. Hey, yeah. Right there, big Rachel, welcome to stay.
Thank you so much, Zahrina. I really appreciate it. Hi, everyone. A special hi to my mum who's on the call, Diane Maggs. Super excited to see mum, and one of my closest friends, Alona, so from high school. So super excited that you guys are able to join and support all of us as authors. Some of us, it's our first book, so it's super exciting. And the reason that I wanted to be a part of this book, Zahrina approached me. We had been in contact. It was a chance meeting that I met Zahrina, actually, and we just formed a friendship. And, I told Zahrina what I was doing. She told me what she was doing, and we just seemed to really align in our values and how we wanted to help people. And so really that is why I got involved. But it was more of a personal journey as well. So that's what my chapter details. So one of my initiative that I'm the founder of, it's actually a side hustle, a passion project of mine. I actually work as a chief marketing officer for a cybersecurity company. But on the side, I've actually put together a women empowerment platform, which helps basically female leaders that are, people out of university, high school, just starting on their career or working their way up to the top. It really provides them with, information, tips, inspiration, resources that they can use to navigate the world of work. And the reason that I was passionate about starting that project is because growing up, and my mum can attest to this, we had quite a turbulent upbringing. So, my stepfather was very abusive to my mum. So, being raised in a single parent household, etc., I worked my butt off in a part-time job and really raised the funds to put myself through university. And then when I went into the workforce as a graduate, full of hope and excitement, experienced misogyny for the first time, and in a car dealership as a sales and marketing trainee. So it really just details my journey and how I worked my own way up to, the C-suite, and then why I then took the next step to want to help others. And so that's really, kind of really wanting to give back, because, I feel that everyone should have the resources, regardless of background, upbringing, country, culture. You should be able to have access to resources to help you get ahead and, to be able to do what you want to do and follow your dreams. And if that's in the business world, then hopefully I can help provide you with some inspiration or tips. So it's really just helping people get ahead and navigate their own, way throughout the corporate world. And that's why I started that. And I'd always wanted to be an author at some point and share my journey. This came a lot sooner as well than I was expecting. But my big thing, instead of creating resolutions, New Year's resolutions, I have a word. And last year it was courage. The courage to just go with opportunities, because I'd often be presented with opportunities, but imposter syndrome would step in. So this year I'm like, I'm going to go out, step out with courage, and this opportunity happened. And I, went with my word and stepped into the opportunity. And so I'm able to share my story, and I hope that helps explain my journey to others and give some inspiration that if I can get there from my background, work my way up, and give to others, hopefully that can help others too. And Alona has been there with me from the start as well, and even from the very young age of knowing my journey. Alona, actually, so wonderful, she's on the call, it was not planned, that she was actually one of the inspirations, said, Rach, you should really one day write a book. And I was like, that sounds wonderful, maybe I will. So full circle moment. So thank you.
Oh, wow, that's powerful. Thank you so much, Rachel. And thank you, Alona. That's wonderful to, give her a kickstart, right? And I'm glad your mum's on the call, my darling. I'm so glad. Thanks. Oh my gosh, how inspirational that, that I love it that, there's no barriers to education. There's no barriers to inspiration. I love that, what you're doing. And, I'm just so glad that we will be partnering together in the future. I'm just so happy to be able to, what the value system is so important. It's so important what you did bring up. But what's really important is that you are helping people and you're doing it now. Hey, and by the way, you said passion project. It ain't no passion project. It's going to be the deal. It's the real deal.
I think it's really cool. A lot of things, there are now a lot of types of things out there like that these days.
But guess what? There's also many coaches out there as well. But you know what? There's nobody like Rachel. So,
and the thing is, they often have very expensive annual subscriptions, which are just way out of the reach of people in different countries, etc. So that's why I'm wanting to really bring it to everybody.
Exactly. So that is your point of difference, my friend. Okay. So you are on the trajectory for full success. I'm so happy to be, having you in the book. The Voices of Influence, it was meant to be that the people that were in this book were in this book for a big, great reason. I love it. I love it. And I'll never forget the day that the Voices of Influence, the title came to me, and then the subtitle came to me, and it blew my mind. Like I was floored by it. And so I was pretty happy that this all was very easy to come together. And I guess in the, in messages, and especially with, when you are doing something in life, you're doing it. If it's hard, don't do it. If it's easy, go with it. So I think that's pretty inspirational there. Thank you, Rachel, for your story. Everyone give Rachel a clap. Woo! Very cool. Very cool. And the beautiful lady that we have here is so special in my heart. Like everybody else's, by the way. Special. This woman is remarkable in the sense of the word remarkable. She's got an untold story that the world does need to hear. Very special. Her name, welcome to the stage, everybody, Karma Atcheson. Welcome, Karma.
Good morning, Zahrina, and
Good
everybody.
Now,
thank you for having me.
Oh, no, golly gosh. I mean, this book would, look, I just say it again. I'm just gifted for the people that are in this book. You mean a lot to me and everybody else within the book. But Karma, tell us about your story, because I've known you for a couple of years now, and you really have, you've been a little angel there that I've supported, and I've helped you, and you've kind of, been there as this wonderful, soft, little fluffy marshmallow in my life.
I sound like a stress ball.
No, marshmallow. So, share with everybody, why you wanted to be in the book, and then, your story, because you've got a remarkable story, as well as, give us some people a little bit of a, insight.
All right, sure. Well, obviously you were putting a book together that resonated with being able to share stories that actually had a meaningful purpose and was actually looking to create a bit of an impact, open awareness, and be maybe thought-provoking, I guess, with how people should look at their own lives potentially, and maybe then grow and expand on that. And for me, I've always been about helping people. No matter what it is, I've always loved helping people. And I guess my history has been, well, the last 24 years has been working in finance. So the last 24 years has been primarily around helping people in finance and be able to, I guess, bring financial chaos and bring clarity to that and change that and make it easy for people to understand. Working with a number of the professionals in the industry that then work with clients and helping those finance professionals make it easier for their clients, find better solutions, and sort of, I guess, be able to transform, I guess, a client so that they have a better, I guess, way forward. So that's been, I guess, my last 24 years primarily, but I guess last year there was a bit of a point and a bit of a change and shift in, I guess, those 24 years where it then became a bit of an intersection then around more so finance and wealth and health, I guess. So it basically was an intersection of that coming together. So my idea is that I can share an authentic experience and share a story, which is obviously within the book, which goes through that and explains how potentially maybe your wealth and your health, well, let's weigh up what's more important, and maybe your health is your strongest wealthy point in our lives, and to maybe not let financial success be the detriment to that potentially. But not necessarily just that, but to look outside and, you know, really look for more answers and find and be connected with a community that is able to provide, I guess, the right answers.
Oh, beautiful. And excuse me. I love that, because what I love about it is that you had a big realization, and that's what I love about this, because, you know, the art of radical reinvention, it's about you guys and sharing your, you know, your insights into your pivot, your tipping point, right? And I love it because what you shared now, I've lived through what you're going through. Like just to give context to everybody, I've known Karma for a long time, like a good couple of years. But I've seen these different, you know, wonderful, all versions of everybody on the call, of course, all my speakers. But just with Karma, particularly, it's gone from this beautiful angel, but who I've watched in the background going, she's working really hard. Is she okay? And I started thinking about, is she okay? And then suddenly I'm like, are you okay? And she goes, maybe not. And a bit of her health took a hit. And that's what happened. And it was like, wow, oh my gosh, how can this happen? And so her health has taken this hit. And I don't even want it to have had a health hit, right? But you did. And now what's happened is that you're sharing this remarkable story of how health with finances is really taken a twist. Yeah, is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I was a healthy person, and I still had a very big impact that it had me bedridden.
Yeah, but I swear, and I'm feeling the energy that you are on the rise. And I feel it. I really feel it within my bones. And sometimes I know from firsthand experience, and I think a lot of you on this call, that sometimes we have to hit rock bottom to, you know, go sky high, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, so you know, I'm really blessed that you're in the book, Karma. Really am, because there's a lot of people that think that maybe, you know, that finances is the way it's going to be for happiness, but then you have to have a full-on balance, right? You have to have heart, the heart, head, heart, yeah. Yeah, right.
That's it.
Whatever the way it goes, right?
It all has to align.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're so right. You teach me, Karma. Okay, girlfriend. Now, gorgeous. Everybody, I want to give everybody give Karma a clap, please, for joining us today. Thank you so much. And, you know, it is definitely one chapter that everybody needs to hear, because definitely finances are not the be and end all. It's your health, you know? So, woohoo. Welcome. Thank you, Karma. So glad that you're in the book. I'm so grateful. And let's welcome to the stage our next speaker is Rachel Anastasi. How are you, Rachel?
Hey everybody, I'm Rachel Anastasi. Thank you so much for having me. You've done a beautiful job bringing together this powerhouse of epic international speakers with brilliant, gorgeous, inspirational stories, and I've enjoyed being a part of this. So thank you so much.
Oh God, well, it's a blessing to have you on board. Yeah, you're just a light of sunshine. I love you, your authenticity, your gumption, your get up and go. I love it. Thank you for being here, Rachel, and share us about a bit about your little bit your background, and then why you wanted to be in the book, and a couple of takeaways.
Okay, so firstly, thank you so much for the invitation to be in the book. It was an easy yes to respond to that invitation, that call from the universe. So for me, my journey has spanned. I've been in this personal development industry, you might call it, for 20 years now. I started my business when I was 21. So my big kind of reinvention happened, I guess, at the age of 21, when I went from being this sort of downtrodden, abused teenager. That's how I felt, overcoming bullying from primary school. And then my first couple of relationships were a little bit abusive and things like that. Really gathering a lot of evidence for those childhood limiting beliefs, like there's something wrong with me and I'm not good enough and who's going to take me seriously and those sorts of things. So to really start my business at the age of 21, I had to really step into who I knew myself to be beyond all of those stories that I was gathering evidence for. Because the thing is that that's the way that our brain works. We've got this mechanism at the back called the amygdala, and that's responsible for our survival. But the way that it ensures our survival is to keep running those programs that got installed like way, way back. So I just kept gathering evidence for, I'm not good enough. Nobody's going to take me seriously. And then at the age of 21, it was like this 5'1", 21-year-old really stepped up and started owning my voice and owning my passion and my purposeful choices to empower myself first and foremost. And then the ripple effect of that is that, I've traveled internationally. I've volunteered on stages all over the world. Predominantly, a lot of my speaking's been volunteered, to be honest, at AIDS centers in Africa and, women's conferences in Doha in the United Arab Emirates. So it's like, I've actually had quite an extensive speaking career, writing, coaching, training, facilitating, but there's been so much radical reinvention along the way. So there was another huge rebirth at around the age of 30 when I went through a relationship breakup and again reinvented myself and got more into the energy work and psychosomatic therapy and retrained to be a therapist there. So, and then just recently I fell headfirst down a water slide, broke my nose, dislodged my jaw, compacted my spine, and have been in concussion for 6 months. So again, another huge radical reinvention. So it's like there's no end to this. It's like a practice. It's an ongoing practice of being in the learnings and being in the practice of being in the learnings. And, I'm forever, I guess, allowing myself to surrender to that death and then that rebirth and then that reinvention. But always aware of those limiting beliefs that I did choose in childhood, and making sure that they're not running the show, and that I'm really in my senses, you know, my senses, my sensuality, and that brings me back to the presence of the moment. My instinct and my imagination calls forward new realms of possibility, and I can reinvent myself in any moment from those future projections in the infinite field of potentiality. So that's what my chapter's all about. And yeah, I've just loved, again, reinventing myself, and how this book has called me forward as well, into the next phase of my life and career. So it came at a perfect time for me. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Oh, Rachel, high five you. Whoa, 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 right from the stage. Boom, boom, boom. Seriously, if you weren't moved by that, boom, boom, boom. Oh, yeah. So many top nuggets there, Rachel. Really, really, I feel like every word that you said totally obviously resonated with me, and I'm sure resonated with everybody else. And it's just really interesting that what I picked up on, and you know, all of us as adults, that not to play out those old limiting beliefs from a kid or teenager and things like that. And yeah, and it is you have these epiphanies where enough's enough. Sometimes it hits us at the halfway point of life, right? And then sometimes it hits us later, but mostly it hits us around the halfway point of life, and you go, wow, man, I've got a lot of water under the bridge, and I climbed the mountain. I've got my t-shirt. You know what? Time to just be me, man. Yeah. So I love it. I love it. And I think you totally inspire me daily, right? So I love it. I'm so glad that you're in this book, Rachel. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Woohoo!
Yeah, thank you, my darling.
And I just want everybody to stay to the end, because there's going to be a special announcement as well. Our next speaker to the stage, let's welcome the beautiful Sally Prowse. Woo, Sally! Woo.
Thank you.
Doesn't Sally Prowse look like she's got a halo around her head?
Oh, we're not meant to.
Oh, it is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to be involved in this. I met Z only a little while ago, and I just feel again like, yeah, it was sort of like a call from the universe. And it was interesting because I've known Karma as well. So she's been sort of part of my finance journey. So thank you for all your help. And she has been very helpful, what she did say. So I guess the reason that I was compelled to do a chapter in this book was I do have a story which is in the book, but it also relates to what I do now, which is basically I'm a finance broker. And one of the things that really I love to do is educate women in particular. And the theme is a man is not a financial plan, because when I started my business, a lot of the people I was helping were my friends who seemed to either be getting divorced. And I noticed there's this real gap in the market. Like if you've had kids, for example, and you don't, a lot of women, like they're so busy with the kids and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the husband leaves and they're in this hole of where they don't know where to go, and all it gets nasty, and all they want to do is probably keep onto the house. They don't realize probably how important super is and things like that. And it is actually my passion now that I've just had my kids leave school. I really want to start at the bottom with kids in schools, especially girls' schools, because I just don't think people know, and they just sort of have this idea that, yes, I'm going to get married. I mean, not everyone, but there are still a lot of people that have this fantasy. I'm going to get married. I'm going to be taken care of the rest of my life. And so I just really have this passion about educating people. And it comes from probably my story where, like, my mum went through all of this, and she still, until this day, God love her, she still has been taken care of, thank God, by a man. But like there was a period for about 5 or 10 years, and this is probably where I started my career, when she was left high and dry and didn't really know where to go. And she was actually, I remember her telling me, she goes, I'm 49. Haven't worked for 25 years. You're lucky, you're only like 25 at that stage. And I never wanted my kids to be like that. And I never wanted to have my family in that situation. So I guess that's the message, like, don't rely on a man for your financial circumstances. I believe that there's a real education and we should all take care of our financial future, because from what I see with my clients, finance, although I know I really honestly believe health is your wealth, but finance can create such stressful circumstances that can lead to relationship breakdowns, unhealthy, and your health breakdowns if you don't have it under control. So that's sort of like my message out there that I'd like to get out there. And I guess also by educating women, even from an early age, that they can have a plan for the financial future where they're not going to worry. So I guess that's my message. And basically, and if you believe anything, you can achieve it, and set yourself realistic goals. People always overestimate what they can achieve in 12 months, but underestimate what you can do in 5 years. So that's my plan to get up there.
Oh, Sally, that's fantastic. And I know your story, my darling. Everybody, give her a clap. Woo! Clap, clap, clap for Sally. Well done, my darling. I'm so glad you're in the book as well, because, what you're doing, that's wicked. I love it. I love it. And, we've got the most beautiful, got two men on the call, right? God love Peter Nichols. Woo! Well, he's a God, he's an angel. And we've got Stephen. I love it. I reckon that message is like music to their ears. I'm surely men don't need the pressure to feel that they are going to be the financial plan. It's really interesting, it's really interesting that that men to hear this message going, oh, the pressure's off, so I really love this message. Well done, girlfriend, Sally. Go forth, my darling, because you're a great speaker. You got the goods. I'm going to have you on my stage one day again for sure. I'll have you all on my stage again for sure, because we all need to hear this kind of message, as well as the young ladies that are, the young ladies out there, because they are aspiring to the Instagram guys, and whatever they're trying to do, while people are on social media, it's just a little bit, distraction sometimes for them. So I hope your message aligns with the new generation, Sally. Thank you so much for being in the book, girlfriend. Woo, thank you. Woo! I'm gonna do a what do you call it? I'm gonna do a photo, everyone. Smile, everyone. Clapping, smile, every hands up. Woo! Looking up at the camera. Got it. I think. Okay, so our next speaker to the house is the most remarkable lady, unforgettable. Unforgettable. Oh, she's a beautiful lady, and she's lived life, right? Now, a lot of life, and she's unforgettable because she's Pinky McKay. Welcome to the house, my darling. What a beautiful speaker you are. And share with us, why you wanted to be in the book. You've lived life. I can tell you, everybody, this lady's got a lot to share in the short amount of time we have. But Pinky, please share with us why you're in the book and, what your go-tos, takeaways.
Well, I'm already the author of 5 books, but nobody says no to Zahrina. And we love you, Zahrina. And
well, you love me. Thank you very much.
I'm your first ever speaker client, and you came to my seminars when I was talking to mums. The room was full of mums and babies, and Zahrina ever so brilliantly trotted around amongst all the prams and kids and whatever, and took these gorgeous photos. And yes, I have lived life. I'm an older lady, and I'm over 70, so I have lived life, and I've seen a lot. And I guess when I was growing up, the message was, you are too loud. Be quiet. Don't rock the boat. You're a woman. You're a girl. Proper ladies aren't loud. And that was the message I got all the way through. So from being kicked out of classrooms, or on the other hand, you can do the talk. You can MC the Anzac. I lived in a little country village in New Zealand, and Anzac Day was a big deal. And as a 12-year-old, I emceed the local Anzac service that happened at our school. So, you know, things like that. But on the other hand, I was also doing my father's accounts by the time I was 12. He was a truck driver. He couldn't read or write very well. And my mother had undiagnosed mental health issues. So she was often in hospital for very long times. Anyway, I was still this loud little brat and organised the boys in the neighbourhood because I was the only girl close around me. So I was always an organiser, always capable. I guess I kind of got that message, but I also got the message that I was too loud, too naughty, too out there, and I spoke up. And now my job is, I feel, speaking up for mothers because, you know, there's a lot happened in between, and that's in the book. But when I had my first child in the 70s, I was the only person breastfeeding that I knew after the first couple of months. And so, you know, I kept on going, and my little cheerleader was the beautiful woman at the fruit shop who breastfed her own child through a concentration camp. And she was so lovely as she sliced up pieces of apple and gave to my baby. But I didn't, you know, I just didn't know anyone else. And then I went to New Zealand, back to New Zealand, and he was about a year old. And I went along to a La Leche League meeting to find out how to wean this child. So I honestly had no idea how that was going to happen. You know, by the time you've got a 1-year-old, they're not going to wean, and he didn't wean straight away anyway. So I actually spent the next 20 years having 5 more babies and breastfeeding them. So I've got almost 18 years between my oldest and youngest child. So I've seen mothering come and go. At when I had my first baby, formula companies were doing a great job at undermining mothers, messing them up, but also that very strong message about you must look after your husband. You know, those breasts are his. You must look after him. He comes first. If you go onto my Facebook page, you'll see a little piece about that was in a textbook. I think I must have had that at the bottom of my bag. I never ever read it. From the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah. So could you share some takeaways? We're just running a little really close to time here because we've got Priya to come. But can you share a takeaway from what you want to share with people? That's the biggest takeaway from your story, please.
Well, that mothers need support, particularly new mothers, and that's my role, is to support these new mothers and to support the professionals who support them, because it's such a transition for women who've been capable. And I think we've kind of almost let our daughters down in believing that they can do everything, and suddenly they've got this little unpredictable human that they're trying to nurture. And so they need massive support, and there's a lot of BS out there, particularly on social media, that confuses mothers, lots of conflicting advice. And, you know, my advice is get out there and speak up. You know, get out there, speak up, and don't be frightened of, you know, causing ripples, because the truth is out there. And actually one of my books is called Parenting by Heart, which is, you know, I just want to see every mother with a baby in her arms and also a smile on her face.
Yeah, that's beautiful. My God, that's gorgeous, Pinky. And Pinky's also the incredible inventor of booby biscuits.
Yeah, booby foods. We have a range of foods. So, you know, that came again from going to visit mothers in their homes, might be in the afternoon, and I always say to them, what have you eaten today? What did you have for breakfast? I want something really specific. They haven't eaten, or they might have grabbed a piece of toast with jam on or something. They're not nourishing themselves. They're not taking care of themselves. And I'm the one who, you know, will take a loaf of banana bread to a new mother, or, you know, make sure. I just supported my own daughter having a baby, and I said to her as she was coming out of hospital, like, you know, we're coming home today, and I said, where are your sheets? Where are clean sheets? You know, clean sheets on the bed, food, and that sort of care is so important, that practical care. So seeing these mothers hungry, I thought nutrition is what's important, and lactogenic ingredients to nourish and support that mother.
Thank you, Pinky. I really appreciate it. Everybody, can we give a clap to Pinky? Yay! We really do need to squeeze in, but we're going to give Priya definitely her time in the spotlight, everybody. So please give Priya here her spotlight time. Welcome to the room, Priya, darling. Hey.
Oh, thank
you. Thank you,
Oh,
Zahrina,
yeah,
and thanks for having me. Also want
easy.
to say congratulations to everyone on this call and also the one who couldn't make it as well, because I think this is an incredible collaboration, and thank you for bringing it all together, Zahrina, because I know the
Oh,
effort you put in, so I really appreciate it. Thank you.
oh, you're a godsend. Thank you. It's not easy, but it's also, what do you call it? Rewarding. Okay, talk to us about you, darling. And like, why did you want to be in the book and your bit of that story? Because you've got a great story about giving back, right? Community, to a
That's,
continent that I'm connected to as well. So go for it.
That's right. That's right. First and foremost, as you said, yes, I've got quite an interesting story because I wasn't born in Australia. So I moved to Australia all by myself as this crazy teenage girl without my parents. They trusted me enough to send me here. I did my engineering, worked through the corporate ladder. I run my own consultancy now, running projects for not-for-profit companies. But at the same time, as Rachel pointed out, what they call as the passion project, but that now I'm trying to build it up and move it further. I'm building a social enterprise specifically for women. My whole life, my whole purpose is to help women rise. I want to rise with them, and I believe, together we can create a better world.
Yeah, totally. Now, just share a little bit of the pivot point of you changing to doing that, little bit of that, the intersection between what you discovered to doing now to where you were before a bit. Just share us with that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. As I said to you, look, I've got an engineering background. I used to run multi-million-dollar technology and business projects. But at the same time, my heart's always, wanting to do better for women, especially the lack of gender diversity and equal pay. That drives me insane even now to date, because as you know, we still have a long, long way to go. So through my network in India, because obviously my roots are very important to me. I'm Australian, but I'm also, equally Indian. My roots are very important to me. I've always wanted to support women back in India. And this is where I have met some of the amazing women who were using recycled yarn that comes from, the landfill textile waste and making saris out of it. And I said to myself, they're onto something really big here, and we really need to do something more with this. So COVID happened. I've used that time, spent all the time, effort, and energy to use the recycled yarn to make different types of sustainable hand-woven fabric. Right. And most importantly, it's made by beautiful women artisans in India. My brand is called Pune. Pune means again. A lot of our women, they come from such a difficult socioeconomic background and seeking a new start in life again. And we are able to do that for them. So we pay them fair wages, they get equal pay, and they work in a safe and supportive environment, so they don't have to relive the trauma or the other things they've gone through in their life before. So this is not just uplifting women, but also doing great things for the planet. So look, it's a journey. I feel like we're only getting started. We've won a couple of awards, but I am here to give a voice to our women back in India, because they have gone through so much in life, and quite often they're afraid to speak up. They're afraid to even ask for the money that they deserve for the effort they put in creating these beautiful, sustainable products, gifts, homewares, you name it. So
amazing. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic what you're doing, because what you're doing is that you're bringing a smile to their face and you're actually giving them purpose. Well done, Priya, my darling. Well done. Wow, that is so good. We're changing the world. Every single one of us, as you can tell or see, we're either about to or we are. And we're doing it in our own way. And I think that is just so heartfelt, everybody. So everybody, give a clap on the back, for joining us today. Thank you, Sue, for joining us, and everyone. Don't go, everybody. I just want to tap into anybody who's got any questions. Has anybody got any questions for the speakers? There we go. Yes. Any questions, Sue? Sue's got a question.
Sorry, just trying to find. I'm juggling between two laptops. Priya, I was just trying to find you on social media about what's the best way to follow you?
I'm on Instagram at puner.co.
Oh,
Sorry.
just to let you know, sorry, all these sort of information is also in the book. So, hey, there's a link in there to buy the book. I think that's the real deal. I think that's a really good question, Sue, because you highlighted that, you know, all our links, all our information and the story and the connection that everybody has is in the book. So please, everybody, promote the book, buy the book. There is a link in the chat. I think Priya's sharing it. There's a link there's a link at the top. We can actually go to the bottom. So you can buy the book through the link. I really would highly get it. You get all the links, and also there's different ways to connect with each of the speakers, which is great. And also I am going to announce that I'm also opening up an inner circle as well. So I'm going to be sort of looking at developing an inner circle of speakers as well. So really helping them with their messaging and their branding. So, if you're interested in joining the inner circle, let me know, to helping you with your messaging more, helping you with how to, a lot more about your future trajectory as well. So I'm here to help you. Even with your business and your brand as well, obviously, because it's all part and parcel. So tap me in the shoulders. I'm looking forward to tapping into all of you else. Now, I want to say thank you, everybody here, because you all are remarkable. And without you turning up, showing up, having the courage, actually believing in yourself that you've actually got something to share, with the courage that you shared in the book and also on stage today and with everybody globally, you know what, it's just it's a step. It's step 1, 2, 3, and I'm so glad that you're part of this book, everybody. Heartfelt thanks. And thank you everybody for the audience for turning up. Thank you everybody for sharing. I'd like the speakers to stay at the end if people need to go, but I'd love the speakers to stay to the end. And thank you very much, everyone. Bye for now. Voices of Influence, the untold stories of remarkable speakers. Boom. Buy it now. Thank you. All the speakers to stay to the end. Thank you. Oh, hi guys. Thank you. I'll stop the recording. Oh yeah, there's